Okay, let's do this again. My name is Carol. You can't see my face, but I'm showing you my screen because this will be more helpful than you seeing my face. And I have some really great things to share with you about how to appeal your real estate taxes in Philadelphia for 2023. So if you're here live with me now, thank you. That's so great. I'm so glad you're here. Give me a wave, say hello so I know I can hear you and see you. And I have a couple of my associates on here too, so they can chat with you as well. I'm going to show you, here we go. We're going to start right away because I have a ton of information to share with you about how you can appeal your taxes for 2023 for Philadelphia, and then a couple other of little tips with you of how to save money on your taxes as well. So let me see, we'll go right down here. We're going to talk about the fact that Philadelphia has reassessed the taxes for the homeowners, the property owners in Philadelphia, which means most likely that your real estate tax bill will be increased. So what we want to do is be proactive about this. We don't want to wait till we get the bill in the mail, because unfortunately you may not get the bill in the mail until after the deadline to appeal. Don't know why, but it has happened. So we want to make sure that you know what your bill is going to be. I'm going to show you where you can see that and what to do about it. Okay, so here are the 5 things that we're going to go over real quick today. I'm going to show you how to know what your assessment is for 2023, so we don't have to wait for the mailman to bring it to us. I'm going to show you how to know what that is today. And then I'm going to show you how to read and how to understand the Philadelphia Public Records from a tax appeal perspective. I'm going to show you what it is that you're looking for. Okay, because there's a lot of information in there. So I'm going to show you exactly the items that we need to be paying close attention to. And I'm going to show you how to calculate the possibility of lowering your taxes, meaning, does this make sense? Is there any chance that you may be able to get them lowered? I'm going to show you how to figure that out before you go through the trouble of doing the whole thing. You want to make sure it's going to be worth your time and energy. And then if you decide that it is worth your time and energy, I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay? And then there are 2 other possibilities of lowering your taxes if the appeal option is not right for you. Matter of fact, the one other option you can do at the same time as appealing your taxes. You can do both. So it's really great. We may be able to save you money a couple different ways, not just one. So I'm really grateful to be able to share that information with you. So who am I? My name is Carol, and I'm with Zen Appraisals. This is me right here. This is my family. This is my better half, Greg. These are my kids, Steven and Rachel, and this is Mark, Rachel's boyfriend, and he's like one of my own kids because they've been together forever. I became a real estate appraiser when my kids were in grade school. Rachel was just starting kindergarten when I got into the real estate business. I started selling houses. I sold houses while I was becoming an appraiser. It takes many, many years to become an appraiser. So I learned how to sell houses to make a little money while I was learning how to appraise them. And now my daughter's in her late 20s, my son's in his early 30s, so it's been a while. And this is Howard. This is the man who trained me how to be an appraiser. He's also a good friend. I've known him a very long time, 20 years or so, and he's just a very full of a ton of great knowledge, and also a very nice person too. And this is Katie. I met her before she had a husband and children. We've known each other a long time. We've been working together a long time. She's amazing. She does a ton of research for us and helps us keep everything in order and running smoothly. She's like the glue that keeps us together. And this is Bev. Bev is in the process of becoming a certified appraiser. Like I said, it takes many years to do this. There's a ton of education involved. And then we have to do an apprenticeship for several years. And Bev is winding down. She's near the end of it. I'm really excited for her. She's brilliant, and she's super nice too. So we make a really great team. We all work really well together. So this is who you get when you speak with us. These are the people that send appraisals. So we're going to talk about the deadline. So the deadline for filing your Philadelphia real estate taxes is not until October. So I don't want you to think, it's cool, I have until October. It's not cool because it's not super easy, and we want to make this as stress-free as possible. So what we want to do is tell you all the steps that are involved, take your hand, walk you through it, show you how to do it, make it run smoothly, and that way you're not panicked or trying to deal with the city of Philadelphia, which is not a great time at the last minute. So if you know anybody that owns property in Philadelphia, you're going to want to tag them in this video. This is public. You can tag them. They can watch what's going on. They can see all of this information as well, and it's just like a really nice thing to do, help everybody. There's plenty for everyone to save money, right? So it's not limited, so why not share it with people and help them as well. So let me see. Okay, so this is what I want to tell you. So the taxes go into effect next year. The appeal process takes place this year. So the deadline is always the first Monday in October. So this year it's going to be October 3rd because that's the first Monday in October. And you require certain information and documents. So we want to start doing it and gathering all this stuff together right now. So according to the Philadelphia.gov website, it's a big website, but they basically break down the appeal process, and when you're appealing your taxes, you have to prove at least one of the following, and this is taken verbatim from their website. You have to prove that your estimated market value of your property that the city has assigned to you is either too high or too low. So we don't care if it's too low. Matter of fact, that's cool if it's too low. If it's too high, that's what we care about. Or you must prove that their estimate of value of your property is not uniform with the similar surrounding properties. And then the third thing that you have to prove, and you only have to prove one of these, is the characteristics of your property that affect the market value that they've assigned to you are substantially incorrect. All right, so what we're going to focus on today is this first one, up to it's too high, and this third one. These are the two that are going to be the things that we may be able to prove. We're going to focus on those. So who is this going to affect? I have a good friend that works at the Philadelphia Tax Appeal Office. So I did a ton of research myself. There's lots of websites and lots of information we look at. I also look at the multiple listings and some private websites that I subscribe to get information. And then I also have a friend that I've known for a very long time who works at the tax assessor office. He's a really nice guy, and he helped me muddle through some of the things because this was my first question. Who's going to get hit the hardest? How does this work? Do they just do a blanket percentage increase across the city, or do they pick certain neighborhoods? How does this work? And so he basically broke it down. And the people that this is going to affect the most likely are going to be people who live in neighborhoods where there is some revitalization going on, where we see some of the houses have become gone into disrepair, or they're not real well maintained, or they're sold as an estate sale, and then these investors will come in and they'll buy these properties, and they'll either completely gut them and renovate them, or they'll just knock them down and build a brand new house in its place. And so the people on the block, that increases the market value of everybody on the block, which is we love that. We want our houses to be worth more, but then at the same time, it may affect our taxes. So here's how they determine when they're reassessing. This is what they do. A house is sold on your block, right? So an investor comes in, they knock down a house, or they completely gut a house, they renovate it, and they sell it. Now, the final sale price is recorded in the public records. There's no getting around it. That's just the way it works, okay? So it's not, City of Philadelphia, they take a few months to record, so it's not immediate. But it eventually does get recorded, and what happens is everybody can see it. It's public record. You can go on the public records and see every single sale in the City of Philadelphia. And that means the assessor sees that sale as well. So they're keeping an eye on the houses that are selling. They're checking the public records, and then when they see a house sell, they take a closer look at all of the neighbors of the immediate neighborhood. So if this is a row home, there's lots of houses on that row home, and they're taking a look at that whole block, and they're saying, hey, have the market values increased on this block as a result of the sale? Are there other sales on this block? Do we see where we need to maybe make an adjustment in their tax assessment and raise their market value, which will increase their taxes? So that's how it works, and that's mostly who it will affect. And it may affect you and it may not, but just to be aware, like your taxes will most likely change, but maybe not as drastically as some other neighborhoods, but maybe even more drastically than others. So I'm going to show you how that's going to work. And I'm going to show you, like, is it worth my time and energy to follow through with this, to fill out the paperwork, to go through the process, to appeal my taxes, to go to the hearing and have them tell me no. So there are a few little investigative things that you can do first to know whether or not it's worth your time appealing your taxes. So when the tax assessor is looking at the public records, and they're trying to determine if the market values have increased, they're looking at these are the three main things they're looking at. They're looking at the age of your house, the condition of your house, and the size of your house, the square footage. The problem is that they don't come inside your house. They are only looking at your house from the outside. And so when they're looking at your house from the outside, they don't know the condition or the size of your house because they haven't been inside it, they haven't seen the inside, and they haven't measured it. So all they really know is what they can maybe find by Googling. You know, if your house was ever listed for sale or for rent or anything like that, they may be able to find some photos on Google. But other than that, and how old are those photos, right? So if the photos are really old, that's not great information. So this information could be incorrect, and it's very commonly incorrect. This side, when we go to appraise homes, it happens really often that the size of the homes are way different than what the public records are reporting them to be, and the condition is not always the same either. There's many things that are different, bathroom counts, bedroom counts, all kinds of things. And so it's no fault of the assessor. This is the way that they have to do their job. That they're not allowed to come inside your houses. So this is the best way they know how to do it. And unfortunately, it ends up sometimes they come up with incorrect information, and then that means that your taxes, your assessment is not correct as well. And there's really not much they can do about it right now. I mean, they're talking about different things, but really, I mean, unless they come inside your house, they're not going to be able to do much about it. So the most accurate way to determine what your market value is by someone coming inside your house and looking at the condition and the size of your house, which will affect your market value, which affects your assessment. And the most accurate way to do that is to have a real estate appraiser come inside your house to measure everything, to analyze everything, to see the condition, to see what's going on. But before you go and hire an appraiser, don't go doing that real quick. I'm going to show you real quick how you can determine if it makes sense before you go and pay someone to do that. Okay, so again, we're going to go over these things, and the first thing we want to know is how to know what your assessment is. That's your very first step. You want to know what it is. And then, so we're going to do that right now. So we're going to go to property.phila.gov. That's the website that you're going to go to see what your tax assessment is. And we're going to look very closely at the year built, the building condition, the improvement area, and the assessments. And I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to walk you through it so you can see exactly what it's going to look like. And I found this random property. I mean, I have an idea of what areas are going to be affected a little bit more than others, and I know what areas are going through revitalization. So I found this street in Philadelphia where there's a lot of that going on. And this is, I don't know who these people are. I've never met them. I just found them on the public records. You can find anybody on there. And here's the address we're going to look at, 1341 Cree Street, right? So if we go here, so you go to property.phila.gov, and I have all the links I can send to you. I'll show you in the end, because I'm going to be giving you a lot of links, and I can send them all to you, so it'll be easier. So we're looking at 1341 Cree Street, right? So it's 1341, and you just simply search it, okay? And then what it does is it brings up their public information. This is public records. Anybody can go on there and see this. You don't need a subscription or anything like that. And we can see that they're assessed at $505,600. That's what the tax assessor's office has decided. That's what this house is worth. And the last time that this house was sold or transferred, I should say, was in 2006 for $1. So $1 means usually that it was transferred between family members. You know, when you want to give your house to somebody in your family, you don't want to charge them for it, you have to charge them $1. So that's most likely what happened there. I don't know, because I've never met these people, but that's usually what happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split my screen, and here we'll do this, so you can kind of see what I'm doing as I'm going through it. All right, so the first thing we want to look at is the year built. So you're going to come down here, and they're saying, you scroll all the way down, and the year built is 1992. All right, there's not a whole lot of houses built in 1992 in this section of the city, but that's the year that the city is saying that this is built, and they're not always right about this, but there's nothing we can do about that. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to look at is the building condition. So they're saying that this building condition is above average, and then the next thing is improvement area, and the improvement area right here is 1,570 square feet. That's what they're saying the square footage of your house is. That means like your first, second, third floor, your main living area is 1,570 square feet for this house. And then their assessments here, they come back up to here, and they are saying that their assessment is $7,077. That's what their estimated tax is going to be. And I'm going to show you real quick. I meant to show you assessments. Where is it at? Oh, here, market value. Okay, so if you live or own property in a different county that's like adjacent to or different from Philadelphia, not all assessments are the same. So Philadelphia is saying the market value is $505,600, and they're also saying the assessed value is $505,600. Philadelphia assesses at 100% of market value. Okay, So if you're in Montgomery or Delaware County or Bucks County or Chester County, it's not the same. So if you're looking, you cannot look at the public records in the same way as you do as Philadelphia. Those are different. They're not at 100%. Philadelphia is. So if they're saying you're worth this much, they're going to assess you at this much. Okay, just so you know that. All right, so then we'll go back here. So this is what I wanted to tell you. What we have to pay close attention to this stuff for is if they're saying that the year of build is 1992 and the building condition is above average, and we can't do anything about the year built, but they're saying the building condition is above average, and they're saying this is the square footage. Well, how are they coming up with that information? If the last time that house was conveyed was in 2006 for $1, that means they don't. When's the last time somebody was inside that house or sold that house or even knew what it was worth? So, okay, let's go see. Is there, I Googled it. Is there any kind of pictures of the inside of this house? No, there's none. There's none at all. Then I did like a Google Streets View. And this is what the house looks like, okay? So this is really important to be able to take a look at this. Now, Google isn't current. It's probably, usually their photos are a couple years old. But we kind of have a general idea of what the street looks like. So here's the house. Here's a block of houses that were built approximately 1992. Here's a bunch of houses that were built in the mid 2000s, like 2006, I think these were built, 2008. Here are some houses that are even older, okay? They're like, I'm guessing probably 100 years old, maybe? And then we come up here, and here is some even newer construction. These were built within the last 10 years. They have a tax abatement. They're not paying any real estate taxes at all. So here's where we have the issue, okay? So we take a look at these newer homes that I just showed you right here. The only houses on this block that I could find that were sold this year were these houses along here. And these houses were sold between $700,000 and $800,000. There are no sales on this block that are similar, like in the last year. None of these houses here are showing up on the public records as sold. Now, maybe a couple have sold in the last couple months that are not recorded yet, but I'm just looking at public records right now, which is what the tax assessor is looking at, okay? There's no interior photos available when I search Google, which means there's no information available, which means the fact that they're saying that this house market value, assessed value is $505,000, it could be wrong. It could be high, it could be low, we don't know what it is, right? So that's like the perfect example to show you, like, you know, this is how they're doing it. This is how they're looking. So if you are looking up your property and you see that your assessed value is something that you feel is much lower than what you think your house is worth, based on your own knowledge of the neighborhood, talking to your neighbors, you know, neighbors talk, they all tell you how much people sell their houses for, right? If you think that it's low, cool, you're winning. But if you think like my house is no way worth that, no way, it's much lower than that, well then it's time to start doing a little bit more digging, okay? So that's how you know, and that's how you read the public records. I mentioned to you that there's a couple other things that you can look at to maybe save some money, and the first one is the homestead exemption. If you don't have a homestead exemption on your house, it's really, this is probably one of the easier things that you can do. The deadline to file that is September 13th, and you must live in the property that you own, so you can't rent it out, and you cannot be part of a tax abatement, meaning the house was pretty much brand new within the last 10 years and you're not paying taxes. And it's easy to apply. You can do it online or by mail. And I want to show you how this works. And I'm going to show you according to this. So you know that house that we looked at on 1341 Crease Street, they're going to be paying $7,077 in taxes next year. If they had a homestead exemption, their taxes would be lowered to $64.47. It's a big difference, and I'm going to show you how to see that right here. All you do is you do this. Now, I'm not sure what the 65 is. They're talking about maybe changing it, but it hasn't gone into effect yet as of right now. So you put in the 45,000 because that's standard what it is right now, and that's how much their taxes would be. And how you know if you have a homestead exemption or not, it would show up right here. If you have one, it would say $45,000 right here. And that means that you're getting that exemption and your taxes are going to be at that lower rate. So that's really easy to do. I have links for that I can share with you. How to do that. I have all the instructions that I can show you that you can just click on and fill it out and send it in. It's all online. It looks pretty simple. And then the second thing that I wanted to show you was the LOOP program, the long-time owner occupants program. This can save you a lot more money than homestead and probably more money than appealing your taxes. So there's a lot more details, obviously, because you're saving a lot more money. So it's a little more complicated to apply for that. And you will not be able to appeal your taxes if you're enrolled in the LOOP program. I'm not saying that you can't appeal. Anybody can appeal, but most likely won't go anywhere. If you're in the LOOP program, they'll probably decline your appeal. So the deadline to apply for this is February 17th. And there are a ton of details on the website, which I can send you the link so you can look it over. These are the basics. If your assessment has increased by 50% from last year, so this could happen on a house, on blocks like this, or, even there are other blocks where, the houses are really in disrepair, and then you have these are not in disrepair, but there are blocks where there are, and then you have these brand new monster houses that are coming in that are worth like 2, maybe 3 times more than the other houses, and it could really affect the other houses' market value. And so if your assessment increases by 50% from last year, then you could apply for this. But you also have to have lived in your home for 10 years. You have to be current on your property taxes. You can't be behind, or you have to be in some type of payment agreement or installment plan. And then there are certain income limits and family sizes. So I didn't list them all out here. There's a whole a table, like it lays it all out. You have this many people living in your house, then your income has to be below this limit. So I can send you the link so you can check that out and see if you would qualify for that. And then if you feel that you do, then you have to apply by regular mail. You can't do this online. There's a whole application process to go through. So if you're still unsure of whether or not it makes sense for you to file a tax appeal, this is what you should do. You should definitely get in touch with us. We can help you decide if this makes sense for you. We're not going to charge you. There's some preliminary research that we can do that will know whether or not it makes sense for you. And we're happy to do that for you. For instance, if the city is saying that your house is worth $300,000, and you know for a fact that all the houses on the block are that are like yours are selling for no more than $250,000, then you may have a chance to appeal it, and it may make some sense for you, and I can look that all up for you and see what are the sales on the block. I can find that out for you and then help you make a decision as to whether or not you want to go through the whole process and fill out the paperwork and get the reports that you need. I can also look and say to you, well, you know what? All the houses that look kind of similar to yours are selling for $100,000 more than what you're assessed at. So really, I mean, you can try to appeal, but I don't think it's really going to go anywhere. But it's totally up to you if you want to try. So we can talk about it, and I'll be completely upfront and really clear about what I see going on your block. And I'm happy to help you figure that out before we go into the whole detailed process of doing a report. We can see if it's something that you really feel like you want to follow through with. And then if you decide that you want to do it, then there is an application to appeal that you have to fill out for the city. These are the documents that you need. Now, these are if it's a residential house, like a single family home, and you live there. This is the procedure. If your property is tenant occupied, or if it's mixed use, meaning there's some commercial going on there, like a little store underneath an apartment or something, or if it's totally commercial, then that's a whole other process, and there's a lot more docs. So we're just focusing right now on the people, basically grandma who's been living in the house for 60 years, and she's taking good care of her house, but it doesn't have, it's not been gutted and renovated or anything. She's just comfortable. This is basically who we're talking about here. Or maybe you bought your house 15 years ago and you just haven't needed to do a ton of stuff to it, and then, and you've been living in it very comfortably. Now you have all these brand new homes going up, and it's really changing the way your block looks. Like, this may be something that would encourage you to file. So these are the 3 things that you'll need to file. You'll need an application. You'll have to fill that out. I can send that to you. I have all the docs that Philadelphia requires. And you need a summary cover sheet. I can send that to you. And you'll need an appraisal report, which we can do for you. And definitely start today. Don't wait. Don't sit on this and wait. Get it done right away. Make sure this is done as, stress-free as possible. It'll take some time to get all this paperwork together and just have it done, right? And be prepared and be ready for next year when it comes around. So if you feel like you're ready to do that right now, you've looked up all the information that I've given you, you can easily just go to our website. This is what our website looks like. And there's a little black button here that says Order Appraisal Services. And you just fill out this information. It takes 2 minutes. It's basic stuff. What's your address, what's your name, things like that. It's nothing too difficult. If you have questions and you want to know a little bit more and you're not really sure what it is that you want to do, we're happy to help you. You just go to Contact Us right here, and it'll take you right to this page. You give us your name, your email. Tell us your address so we can look it up ahead of time, and then we can give us your phone number in this message, and we can contact you and we can talk about it. It'll just take a few minutes on the phone. We're happy to do that for you. So that's basically everything. If you want the links to everything that I talked about here, the link to look up your tax assessment, to the application process, all the documents that you need to appeal. If you want to apply for any of those exemptions, the paperwork that you need to fill out, if you want to know the income and the family limits for the LOOP program, and if you need there are certain mailing addresses and email addresses for appealing your taxes and for applying for those exemptions, all you need to do is go right here, and this is kind of a long link, so I'm going to drop this in the description of our video. You can go here, and when you go here, what it'll do is you send me your email, first name, last name. You don't even have to put your last name, your email and your first name, and then hit send me your info now. And what's going to happen is you'll get an email that comes right to you that's going to give you links for all of these things, and you can just click on all the links and it'll give you instructions for everything. It'll be super easy. So it's zenappraisers.net. real estate tax info. It's kind of long. So I'm going to put this in the description. I hope this helps you. If it has, please, please, please share this with somebody that you know that lives in Philadelphia. I'm going to come in here because I'm a complete dork and I can't see your comments, and I appreciate that you're here if you're here, and I want to say hello to you. So I'm going to, after this ends, I'm going to go into the comments. I'm going to answer all of your questions. Definitely tag somebody that you know that this could help. If you could like our Facebook page, that would be helpful. That would sort of get the word out to other people as well. And always, 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 we're always happy to help answer your questions. And, you know, even if it doesn't have to be for a tax appeal, it could be anything appraisal related. We talk to realtors and homeowners all the time about just different things that come up, and they just have a little question or, you know, a concern, and we're always happy to help them. So I hope you're having a great day, and take care. I'll see you later.